Judges 3. These were the nations the Lord permitted to remain so he could use them to test Israel. He wanted to test all those who had not experienced battle against the Canaanites. He left the nation simply because he wanted to teach the subsequent generations of Israel who had not experienced the earlier battles how to conduct holy war. These were the nations, the 5 lords of the Philistines, all the Canaanites, the Sidonites, and the Hivites living in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon to Lebo Hamath. They were left to test Israel so the Lord would know if his people would obey the commands he gave their ancestors through Moses. The Israelites lived among the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. They took the Canaanite daughters as wives and gave their daughters to the Canaanites. They worshiped their gods as well. The Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight. They forgot the Lord their God and worshiped the Baals and the Ashtoreths. The Lord was furious with Israel and turned them over to King Cush Rishathaim of Arnon Hariam. They were Cushan Rishathaim's subjects for 8 years. When the Israelites cried out for help to the Lord, he raised up a deliverer from the Israelites who rescued them. His name was Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. The Lord's Spirit empowered him, and he led Israel. When he went to do battle, the Lord handed over to him King Cushan Rishathaim of Armon, and Othniel overpowered him. The land had rest for 40 years. Then Othniel, son of Kenaz, died. The Israelites again did evil in the Lord's sight. The Lord gave King Eglon of Moab control over Israel. Because they had done evil in the Lord's sight, Eglon formed alliances with the Ammonites and the Amalekites. He came and defeated Israel, and they seized the city of date palm trees. The Israelites were subject to King Eglon of Moab for 18 years. When the Israelites cried out for help to the Lord, he raised up a deliverer for them. His name was Ehud, son of Gera, the Benjamite, a left-handed man. The Israelites sent him to King Eglon of Moab with their tribute payment. Ehud made himself a sword. It had 2 edges and was 18 inches long. He strapped it under his coat on his right thigh. He brought the tribute payment to King Eglon of Moab. Now Eglon was a very fat man. After Ehud brought the tribute payment, he dismissed the people who had carried it. But he went back once he reached the carved images at Gilgal. He said to Eglon, "I have a secret message for you, O king." Eglon said, "Be quiet." All his attendants left. When Ehud approached him, he was sitting in his well-ventilated upper room, all by himself. Ehud said, "I have a message from God for you." When Eglon rose up from his seat, Ehud reached with his left hand, pulled the sword from his right thigh, and drove it into Eglon's belly. The handle went in after the blade, and the fat closed around the blade, for Ehud did not pull the sword out of his belly. As Ehud went out into the vestibule, he closed the doors of the upper room behind him and locked them. When Ehud had left, Eglon's servants came and saw the locked doors of the upper room. They said, "He must be relieving himself in the well-ventilated inner room." They waited so long they were embarrassed, but he still did not open the doors of the upper room. Finally, they took the key and opened the doors. Right before their eyes was their master, sprawled out dead on the floor. Now Ehud had escaped while they were delaying. When he passed the carved images, he escaped to Seirah. When he reached Seirah, he blew a trumpet in the Ephraimite hill country. The Israelites went down with him from the hill country with Ehud in the lead. He said to them, "Follow me, for the Lord is about to defeat your enemies, the Moabites." They followed him, captured the fords of the Jordan River opposite Moab, and did not let anyone cross. That day they killed about 10,000 Moabites, all strong, capable warriors. Not one escaped. Israel humiliated Moab that day, and the land had rest for 80 years. After Ehud came Shamgar, son of Anath. He killed 600 Philistines with an ox goad. So he also delivered Israel. I love the little footnote. Like, oh yeah, there's also this other dude, Shamgar. Yeah, he was pretty cool too. He killed 600 people. Don't forget him. Like, it's just like, beep. We spent a whole bunch of time on Ehud. We'll back up to the beginning, but so now we're getting into the time on. We're going to get the stories of what happened, and we get the crossover here between the two. So first we have the Philistines are coming. There is the people remain, the nations remain. We're still on the why are they there? They are there to test. Now it's interesting they said conduct holy war. The syntax is difficult. The Hebrew text literally reads, "Only in order that the generation of Israel might know to teach them war, only those who formerly did not know them." Okay, so why are you putting the word holy in there? Like, it's just about knowing war, not holy war. I really do not like that they put conduct holy war. Set apart is what holy means. It's not in the text, so I don't think that you need to do that. Also, it gives bad connotations with the way it's used by other groups of people today. So I would not put that as a translation. These are the nations of the 5 lords of the Philistines. And we have all the locations where they're at. They are left to test Israel. And we go on, and then we have the Israelites lived among the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Six nations in all. No, it's an ox goad, not with an ox. An ox goad is the thing that you prod an ox with. So like an object that has spikes on the end of it to prod the animal to get it to go where you want to. That's what an ox goad is. Okay, so they are now also, so we've just got it going worse. Their daughters they're taking Canaanite daughters to be wives for their sons, and they are giving their daughters to be Canaanites. And this is where and how they go even further into worshiping their gods. You bring the foreigner to worship God, you go over to the foreigner, you worship their God, you have those problems happening. You guys got to get a lot of comments there on what happened. I'll come back to them if I miss it. When we get to those stories, remind me of those. So yeah, we've got, again, the listing of the people that are there. Sometimes the people of the land are mentioned as 6 people. Sometimes there's 7. This time it's 6. Listed there, and we have the intermarriage of everything that's happening, which is going to cause them to spiral even further. And then remember, the whole setup here is they were left because people were being disobedient to God, and they were left to test them. Will you remain faithful to God, or will you continue to chase after those things around? So at times, like, just think about that. Why are there things in your life that are continually around you to tempt you, and they're there and not eliminated? Like, I would love to see things eliminated so that they weren't around, so they weren't a problem. It just doesn't work that way, though. Okay. So the Israelites are doing evil. They're worshiping the Baals and the Ashtoreths, and God is furious. And then we have King Cush Rishathaim. Okay, let me see what the footnote is. Armon, Hiriam, traditionally Armon, Nahum, Neharem, and sometimes understood as a place. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Cushan, the doubly wicked. So Rimmetham is double wicked. So King Cushan, the doubly wicked. So we're starting out with the double wicked guy. Double wicked. So they become his subjects for 8 years. That doesn't seem like a long time. Okay, so the first story, notice what happens, though. Notice what we get in here. If you ever want to make charts, if you're a chart maker, Judges would be a good chart. Put down how long they are oppressed for and how long they have relief for. It's amazing how often the relief is far superior to the oppression. Okay, so they have 8 years. I don't know if there's something symbolic or significant with 8 years. 7 is the number of totality, so it is a year longer than that. Keith Dimmick, how you doing today? Doing well, man. Hope you are too. We're getting into some, like, one of my favorite stories in the Bible we just read, so we're about to talk about that. So, oppressed for 8 years, and the cry goes out to the Lord for help. This is the cry of the oppressed. This is not prayer. This is cry of the oppressed. It doesn't even have to be that you have a relationship with God. This is the cry that goes out of the poor and the oppressed simply by it happening. It's the cry that went up from Nineveh by those who were oppressed there. It's the cry that went up from Sodom and Gomorrah. So it is the cry of oppression that goes up. God hears that regardless if you're in relationship with him or not. So the cry goes up. He raises up a deliverer, and it's going to be Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. And the Spirit empowered him. He led Israel to do battle with the Lord, and he crushed him, and Othniel overpowered him, and they had rest for 40 years. So the first one, it's 8 years of oppression, followed by 40 years of good. Now, 40 is a number of testing. So it is, are they going to continuously follow God? We had a period, and at the end of the period of time, will they pass the test? Moses is up on Mount Sinai for 40 days, and when he comes down, they have failed the test. So we're going to have 40 years. Let's see if they pass the test. What's interesting, though, is here we have this guy comes, he's this powerful, he does all these things. Oh, yeah, Caleb's younger brother's son, so his nephew, his brother's son, goes and conquers and delivers the people. We got a connection back there to this family. This family is staying on the good. This family is going to make sure that God is going to be have a deliverer there. And then that ends that story. So just very brief, very short. The first one, ba-da-bum-bum, and it's over. And then the Israelites do evil again after the 40 years. And Eglon of Moab. My brain always wants to say, or think about Eglon's best eggs. Eglon's best eggs. I don't know. Okay, so we got 3 verse 12. Let's go look up what Eglon means. So verse 12, King Eglon. Da-da-da-da. King Eglon. Da-da-da-da. What does his name mean? Da-da-da.
Strong's H, 5700. Eglon.
Oh, that's right. It's calf-like. Like I can't connect eggs and calf, so my brain can never get there. Yeah, I'm singing the A-Team. Yes, it is. I can't tell you the last time I seen the A-Team. I've heard the song. It is just one of there are about 4 or 5 songs that will just go on play in my head, and that will just be stuck. That song will probably be stuck for 4 days in my head now, and I don't know what to do about it. All right. So calf-like formed alliance with the Ammonites and the Amalekites. He came and defeated Israel and seized the city of date palm trees. The Israelites were subject to King Eglon of Moab for 18 years. So 8 years is the first time they are oppressed. Now we have 18 years that they're going to be oppressed. Is there something significant with 18? I don't think so. Nothing I can think of that makes it significant. Then again, the cry of help goes up to the Lord, and so the Lord raises up a deliverer, Ehud. Let's go look up Ehud. So we have Eglon and Ehud. Bum, bum. God raised up Ehud, a left-handed guy. He was a warrior. Da, da, da. Ehud. Okay, Ehud. He was Ehud.
Strong's H 164. Ehud. Ehud.
So, I will give thanks. I will be praised. So, depending upon how you're using it, I will give thanks. So he MC Wolfcat with the yes. I will be praised. So I will give praise. I will give thanks. So I will give thanks because God's deliverer has come. So he is a Benjamite. So one of the things we're going to get is that these deliverers come from around the different tribes. Now, Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin, repeatedly is mentioned for having left-handed soldiers. You were mentioning this earlier, Lucis. So when we get into the story, and he straps the 18-inch sword, I would have said a cubit, so it's just as long as your arm here. He straps this to his inner thigh on the right leg. So he's got a hidden weapon in there, inside the thigh, inside his garment. And you wouldn't think that it would be there because you're not watching for a left-handed man to do anything. You're looking for a right-handed man to bring his sword across from his left side. So he totally is able to disguise what he is doing. I just love the way that he does this. He is bringing tribute. How did he end up being the guy to bring tribute? I don't know. But what's interesting is look at the way the story unfolds. So he is planned for this, and I love it. Now, Eglon was a very fat man. A very fat man was he. I'm going to get into a different song there. Okay. He strapped it under his coat on his right thigh, and he brought the tribute payment. After he brought the tribute payment, he dismissed the people who carried it, but he went back once he reached the carved images at Gilgal. The idols, okay? So he is leaving the palace or the grounds, whatever it is, with the guys who were carrying the tribute. So he's the one who's bringing the payment. They are leaving. He sees the idols. Is this when he goes and decides to kill? Or was it already premeditated that he was going to do it? I think that there is something about these idols that, like the strapping the sword was probably a normal thing that he did, okay? And now he sees the idols, and he's outraged at these idols and what's going on. He dismisses the other guys, and he heads back. And he goes into, King Eglon, I have a secret message, O king. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, like, this is just all good. This is all good. Okay, so Ehud approaches him, and I love how it says, in his well-ventilated upper room. Dun, dun, dun. What do we have here on the footnote? Cool, probably refer to a room with lattice windows that allowed for a breeze to pass through. So it's a well-ventilated room. I have a message from God for you. When Eglon rose from his seat, Ehud reached with his left hand, pulled out his sword and from his right thigh, and drove it into Eglon's belly. He is calf-like. Just think of a big old cow, okay? You got a big old belly, and yet, this is what I was going to do. I'll get to that in a second. But it's probably about this long. 18-inch sword. I don't know if that's, I'm going to assume that includes the handle. And you shove that in, and it sucks it all the way in, and his belly closes up over it. Yeah, I don't know how big the dude was, but if you can shove a sword 18 inches into him and his belly sucks in the handle of it, he left the sword in him. Like, this is one of my favorite stories as a kid. Totally one of my favorite stories. Like, this dude was awesome. Like, if I were to make a video game, like, I would make the Book of Judges, okay? And you've got, like, this would be my Assassin's Creed, like, you know, like, character here. Ehud is sneaking in, and he's gonna shove the sword in and then sneak out, because that's what he does. He locks the door as he leaves. He leaves them in here. And this story is a long story. It gets a lot of play. He's in the upper room. He must be relieving himself in there. So we'll just wait. We'll just wait outside for him. Now we've waited too long. We're embarrassed how long we've waited and he hasn't come out. Let's get the key and go in. Oh my goodness, he's dead. Do you see it? Oh, we should have went in earlier. Let's not tell anybody. And Ehud escapes while they're delaying. Like, he passed the car of images. He heads on to his town of Seirah. He blows the trumpet. He gets the Ephraimites to come and attack and deliver. Follow me and we'll defeat our enemy, the Moabites. They followed. They captured the fjords of the Jordan River opposite Moab, and they killed about 10,000 Moabites. Okay, what do we have in the footnote? They struck Moabite that day, about 10,000 men. Okay, 10,000 is often a nice round number that's used for we totally defeated their army there. What's that worm alien from Star Wars? Jabba the Hutt? Yes. Hey, good morning, DJ Courageous. Yeah, what I would have been. So, if you did not know, Endor is in the Bible. So the moons of Endor and the witch. There is a witch of Endor. You know, so the Star Wars does steal some biblical names. That would have been funny if Eglon would have been Jabba's name. Maybe he has got a brother, Eglon the Hutt. Anyway, so they humiliate Moab, and they have rest in the land for 80 years. So the first time God sends a deliverer, they were oppressed for 8 years, and they have 40 years of peace. Then they have 18 years of oppression, and they have 80 years of rest. Now we also have, and then Shamgar, we'll go look up his name in a second, killed 600 Philistines with an ox goad. So I was trying to get, I grabbed this so I could show you. So this would be maybe similar to an ox goad. This is actually from the Maasai tribe in Africa, and some of them will have the head more off to the side. So this is a stick for hitting, and that, like, you swing that, like, you get a lot of velocity on that. That's going to do some damage there. But an ox goad would be similar in length, but you would have spikes on the end of it here for prodding. So this would be like an ancient cattle prod that you would hit. So he takes one of these, a cattle prod, and he kills 600 people. Not a typical weapon, improvised weapon, and he's able to do that. So he just gets a little bit here thrown on. I think he's probably part of the 80 years. So Ehud Shamgar. So in that 80-year time, I think that's why it's 80 years instead of 40. So Shamgar comes along during that time, and that's why that part gets extended. But we don't know Shamgar, what tribe it is, son of Anath, but I don't know my Hebrew genealogy well enough to figure that out. But let's go look up what Shamgar means. Shamgar Ganges. Oh, sorry, that's Samwise Ganges. And there was Shamgar. He took an ox, goad to them. 600 died. What'd you think of that? Told you it's in my head.
H 8044. Shamgar.
Shamgar. His name means swords. So, sword, son of Anath. Let me see if Anath, it'll tell me who his father is. Let's go with Anath. I'm more looking it up because I want to see what it says. Not the name meaning here, but the family. Oh, son of Answer. Sword, son of Answer. That is funny.
H 6067. Anath.
Okay, so Anath is mentioned twice. So where is Anath also mentioned? Oh, it's in Judges 5 again. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Anath. Okay. So I thought maybe it would tell us, so doesn't tell us who or what tribe it is. Or does it say in the days of Jael and the high occupied the traveling? Okay, so no, it does not. Does not. Okay. MC Wolfcat. Here we call the Nobkuri a traditional South African walking stick, a club featured a knob head, often used for protection, hunting, or a cultural accessory. Yeah, and I do not think Nobkuri. I don't think I said that right, but yeah, that's more of a walking stick that has it. Yeah, so this is more of like a weapon that you could pull from your side, but in the absence of metalworking, you would make your weapons out of wood, and this is really hard wood. Like, that's really hard wood. I would not want to be clunked on the head with that. Like, think of being hit on the head with a mallet. That's what that's going to feel like. All right. Bum, bum, bum.